I just went to the eye doctor.
That's close enough. I saw 6:59, but that's close enough. All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. As you are able and willing, please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. Thank you all for coming. We start with public comment. We have no one who has come in and asked to deliver public comment, so we'll move right into the report of the secretary. May I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of our last meeting?
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of Wednesday, March 20th, 2024.
I'll second Rebecca.
Rebecca, thank you. Well done as always. Thank you. We went through them today and found no mistakes. Comments or questions?
Good.
All in favor? It's 4-0. Thank you. That moves us to the report of the chair. I have a smallish number of things tonight. Our next town officials meeting will be 1 week from today on the 10th. It will be at the Elliott Town Hall at 8:30 in the morning. I'll mention secondly that we just completed our second budget workshop in which we reviewed the three elementary grade level schools, Elliott Central and the Great Works School, and also the special ed budget. That all went well. And the last thing is that our next board meeting is also a week from today because of the vacation schedule in April. So we will see you all again next week at this time. And that concludes my report and brings us to the report of the superintendent.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to give a quick budget update around our health insurance rates. We received our final rate from MEA Benefits Trust. I believe it's 5.75%. 5.56%, pardon. 5.6%. Overall, obviously, that's a little bit more than it's been over the last couple of years, but it was not as high as that I had feared. And so I think that's a positive bit of information. So I just wanted to share that with the board. Next up is tonight would be our vote on the school calendar proposed for next year. There's no changes, just to remind everybody that the calendar would start the Tuesday after Labor Day for students, sorry. And then the curveball would be the Friday prior to April vacation. We needed some spacing there because of graduation falling a week later than it traditionally does. Will be the second Friday in June as opposed to the first Friday in June, just the way the calendar has worked. And so that is in alignment with the SRTC, and just that, that's a big part for it. We could only have 5 dissimilar days amongst all of the schools that attend, and so that puts us in complete alignment with the SRTC. Any questions about the calendar at all? Okay. Next, this came together very quickly, and I just, I want to thank the staff in the district for sharing just some concerns around the solar eclipse. There were some concerns about pickup being in the dark. There was concern shared around students riding the buses with in the midst of the eclipse and looking at the eclipse while they weren't necessarily being supervised. And so some school districts in the state made the determination to shorten the school day. And I think I really appreciate the fact that our district looked at it a little bit differently and said, you know what, how do we make this a great learning experience for kids and have them be this kind of once in a lifetime opportunity for kids to be together. And so we worked really hard with the QEA who are great partners, and we worked out an arrangement. And so staff have the option of staying an extra hour on Monday to be able to help students kind of celebrate this. And so our high school and middle school buses will run at the normal times. Our elementary school buses we're going to run about an hour later than they typically run, which allows kind of the eclipse to be viewed. The elementary schools have glasses. There'll be some opportunities here at the high school. The middle school's got their science department has kind of said that they wanted to stay after school and be able to have an opportunity for kids to be able to be there. So it really allows for that kind of real life science for kids. And I just think it's really one of those special moments. And so I know our elementary school sent out some permission slips yesterday and today just to try to kind of gauge where people are going to be. Dismissal is going to be a little bit chaotic, where you might have some families who they want to spend that time together, and we said, hey, pick up your children at 2:30, that would be great. Others, we said, hey, look, we're going to push back the buses. This is an opportunity to kind of see this great experience and enjoy it. I mean, obviously, we're not going to be outside for an hour staring at the sun. That's not the idea. Let's just enjoy the experience, be together, and have that great learning experience, which is what we really want to talk about, those hallmark experiences with the district. So again, I want to just thank the QEA for being great partners, the teacher and the district for having some flexibility to understand how this is a great opportunity for our students. So
Pretty cool.
awesome. Just wanted to share that with the transportation director update. We have interviewed a couple of different people. We've offered the position. We have not been able to find a candidate at this point in time. And so we're going to continue to look. We're trying to kind of create some contingency plans. Obviously, this is a critical position within the district, and so we're going to be reposted again. And I will keep you up to date as to what it appears. So kind of feels a little bit uncomfortable that we finally get a mechanic and now we can't have a director. So maybe we're trying to be selfish, trying to do both, but that's okay. We'll work it through. And so I will keep you in the loop as far as where we are with that over the next couple of weeks. The next thing is just, we talk about hallmark experiences, and one of the things that we haven't really talked about is the idea that we put money aside for the Marshall Great Work School students to go to Pinkham Notch. So that the board basically said, this is so important, we're going to put basically $50 per child aside to be able to help offset the cost for this great experience for kids. But we have students at the high school who are in the whole program who have to pay that same amount of money. And so I wanted to share with the board that we do have a little bit of money left from the Odyssey, the Mind / We the People trips that was not used this year. And so what I would like to do is take about $1,000 out of that money. It is about 14 to 16 students, which is about $900 if we did $50 per student, and then left kind of a little bit of a pool of money if some students might have some additional financial hardships to help them offset that cost. But I just think that's something that the board values very much, and just wanted to make sure you knew that was being addressed.
Awesome. Great.
Thank you.
Any questions about that? Does that make sense?
Perfect.
Okay. Great. Next, I got an email this week, or received an email this week from Karen Lawrence, who's one of our educational technicians at Marshall Middle School. Karen has been with us for quite some time. She is absolutely wonderful. As when my boys went through school, she was known as Teacher Lawrence. And so just a super person, always does great things. She's been a great partner during negotiations over her years as an educational technician in the district, and she's going to be highly missed. But we just wanted to thank Karen for all that she's done for the district. In addition, we have two resignations at Marshwood High School. Caitlin Dow is a math teacher at the high school, and Bonnie Michu, a music teacher. Both of them are stepping away now for family reasons, and so they are going to look into some other opportunities in their life. We just want to thank them both very much. Caitlin did a nice job with our math department, and then Bonnie was fantastic in the role as a chorus teacher at the high school. So thank both Caitlin and Bonnie. And then the rest of this is just kind of date reminders, and so there's just some curveballs that are out there right now. So just a reminder that and you'll see in the Hawk board and will also be on our Newsline website that we have through our website. But the district budget meeting is Monday, May 13th, which is a Monday at 7 o'clock at Marshwood High School. So it is not Wednesday the 15th, but it is Monday the 13th, and that we will not have a meeting that Wednesday. So our second meeting in the month will be that Monday district budget meeting. Any questions about that? Also, our June board meetings, we made this change earlier in the year, but I just want to remind people this is the end of the year, starts to kind of come upon us. Things start to happen really fast. And so just a reminder that our June board meetings are June 5th, which is that Wednesday before graduation. Typically, we have that meeting at 6 o'clock because that's prior to convocation. And so we want families to come in and be able to introduce the top 10, and then people have the opportunity to leave to go to convocation. So that would be a 6 p.m. meeting on June 5th. And then we'll have the second meeting in June on the 26th of June. So does that sound good to everybody?
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. And now, time for student reports.
Awesome. So I have the baseball team had 2 scrimmages and won both of them against Dover and Portsmouth this past week. Softball also had 3 scrimmages, winning 2 and losing 1. Girls and boys tennis had a scrimmage last night against York, and everyone played very well. And girls lacrosse scrimmage was moved from Tuesday to Thursday, though I have a feeling that will also be moved again. Student Gov has been thinking about what makes students want to come to school. We've been talking about what students like and dislike and what changes we can think about making moving forward. We're also starting to think about next year and how we can, what we can do to maintain a sustainable future for the club. So really just starting that conversation and bringing in administration onto it as well.
For extracurriculars, Civil Rights is sending some students to the Youth Leadership Conference in York. It was initially scheduled for this Friday, but because of weather and a little bit of uncertainty, it's been rescheduled to next Thursday. Mamma Mia had their opening night last Friday, and it was really, really amazing. The cast performed super well. Everybody's still talking about it. And this weekend will be the last chance to see it. They have shows this Friday at 7 and Saturday at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Math team had their state meet yesterday. We had some amazing scores. We came first of the Southern Conference teams and 6th in Class B. And then Quiz Bowl had their last meet of the year last Saturday as well. Scoring might not have been the best of this year, but we had lots of fun and we're looking forward to next. We're also thinking about possible shirt designs and a team banquet. And then the Spring Play Orlando started auditions today after school, so more to come on that. And then Winter Percussion performed at home since we last met. They did really great. They scored 2 4-stars and a 5-star for visuals, and Winter Guard was there too. And this Sunday, April 7th, Winter Guard and Winter Percussion will be performing at Sanford High School in their final competition of the season. Both groups have had an outstanding season, and wishing them luck. And then a few students have been accepted to march in next year's Macy's Parade. Sarah Galvin, Lucy Cox, and Patrick Gratian have all been accepted, as well as 3 of our marching band members from Somersworth High School, Caitlin Whiteman, Isabella Musso, and Rosalie Stoddard. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Our music technology classes also shared audiobooks that they made complete with sound effects and Little Buddies Childcare, and they're currently working on designing and creating their own podcast, which is awesome. The plan is to share them with the NHS student community once they're complete. And last but not least, April is World Autism Awareness Month, so puzzle pieces have been hidden around the school to educate students in a fun way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Just one other quick note, I had an opportunity to meet with Sally Mannanen and Gina Brodsky on Tuesday, and they were just so impressed with our high school and middle school students. They came in and worked with 2 groups of students to talk a little bit about the MIDAS data, talking about the mattering idea that we talked about, and so just some incredible feedback. They're going to be gathering that for us to be able to share. Then our next step will be to have the group of students working with Sarah Cesario and to kind of talking about now what do we do with that information, what are some action steps that we could take to be able to help have these tougher discussions. So great stuff. I just missed, was it 4-0 with the minutes?
Was it?
It was 4-0, okay.
Yes, for sure.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you. No correspondence this week to report on. Reports of the committees, Finance and Facilities will next meet next Wednesday prior to the regular, actually probably prior to our workshop. Ed Policy has met in the interim, and we have a number of policies up for first read tonight. Is anybody on that committee have anything else they want to add?
A couple of rescinds as well. First reads and rescinds.
Rescinds, okay,
Yep.
great, okay, thank you. And Wellness SEL met earlier this evening.
Yes,
How'd that all go?
it went well.
Okay.
We're focusing mainly about looking forward to the fall, maybe putting together a presentation to have Judd Broderick come in and speak. I guess he was here a few years back. He had a child that he lost to suicide, and so he gave a presentation to raise awareness of what are the biggest stressors that kids face. And so we had a lot of discussion about cell phone use and how that plays a part in anxiety and stress, even the extra stress that's put on kids going to college, even at a very young age, that kids should be outside playing already, thinking about what they need to be doing. Even sports, it's just such a big focus for kids, and having to, join club teams and just really excel, like just putting all those extra pressures on kids. And so how can we maybe bring parents in, and they can listen to some of these presentations, and also looking at the MIAS data that we were just talking about, like what are these people or the kids saying that they are stressed out? What are causing these stresses for them? Maybe getting a discussion with amongst some of the kids that they can share their thoughts, and how do we as parents add to some of those pressures for the kids. So just really having some productive conversations to be able to support our kids, and maybe bring awareness to parents that we're not even realizing what's going on. And then and also including more student voice in the conversation, because obviously it's extremely important, and I feel like it's felt strongly when you hear from your peers on what's going on, and you can identify with that. And then we're looking at possibly 3 Thursdays for some teacher wellness, where maybe they could do something for the community. They talked about maybe around Thanksgiving time, doing some cooking and serving the community, or maybe people meet up and go for a hike, or just something that they can get together and appreciate each other and learn more about each other, and just have some fun time too. So that's kind of where we're at with that, and so we're looking forward to preparing for the fall.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That concludes reports of the committees and brings us to new business. First up, may I have a motion, please, around next year's calendar?
I move to approve the final draft of the 2024-2025 school calendar.
Well, second, Rebecca.
Great. Other questions? All good? All in favor? It's 4-0, thank you. Motion, please, with regard to the whole club taking an overnight trip.
I move to approve the Marshwood High School Hold Club to take an overnight trip from Friday, May 17th, 2024 through Sunday, May 19th, 2024 to attend Teens to Trails at Adventure Bound in Caratunk, Maine.
Lisa Caratunk,
Second, Lisa.
Lisa, thank you. This sounds like fun. Always have fun up in Caratunk, Maine. Any questions about this? Sounds like a good thing to do. All in favor? That's 4-0. Let's do that. Great, thank you. May I have a motion, please, to nominate Meredith Seggett, if I pronounced that right?
Yes.
I move to approve the nomination of Meredith Seggett, first-year probationary teacher, physical education, Elliott Elementary School, school year 2024 to 2025, Masters 06, salary pending contract negotiation.
Second, Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca. John?
Yes, so Meredith is a graduate of the University of New Hampshire. She also has her master's degree in the art of teaching. She's also taken an incredible amount of PE classes over the last 2 years to become certified as a physical education teacher. I'm currently teaching at Kennebunkport Consolidated School, and also just did a fantastic job as our library education technician at Elliott Elementary School a couple of years ago. And so we're really excited to have Meredith back. I think in addition to that, Meredith is also going to be able to be an adaptive physical education teacher, which is part of our plan as we go forward, as we talk about trying to maximize our resources. So really excited to have Meredith coming back to Elliott Elementary School.
That's great. Thank you. Questions? All in favor? That's 4-0. Great, thank you. Motion, please, with regard to the nomination of a Caverly.
I move to approve the nomination of Connor Caverly, first-year probationary teacher, physical education, Marshwood Great Works School, school year 2024-2025, BA02, salary pending contract negotiations.
I'll second, Lisa.
Lisa, thank you.
So Heidi actually met with Connor, so Heidi will share her.
Yeah, so I was kind of doing the superintendent's office aspect of interviewing Connor. I had a really great conversation with him. He's very eager and excited. So Connor will be graduating from Springfield College in May with his bachelor's in Bachelor of Science in Physical Education. And even though Connor is young, he's had some really great experience already that he's going to bring to this position. He's been a substitute for us on and off since 2021. as his school schedule has allowed. He's done a couple of really great practicum experiences with both elementary and high school students. He had the opportunity to work in an adaptive physical education setting and really bring some experience in that adaptive PE area to bear. And he worked a couple of summers in our extended school year program as well. So he really has worked in several of our buildings and done a really nice job for us. So we're very excited to bring him on board. And I think one of the things that stood out to me in talking to Connor is his ability to be certified in physical education, health, and adaptive physical education. He has kind of all of those qualifications coming to the table, which is something that we were looking for and is not easy to find.
Anybody have any comments or questions? I just want to say that, from my perspective, the board has been aware of this, and I'm completely comfortable that our superintendent has played absolutely no role in candidate selection, hiring decisions, or anything else to do with this particular candidate.
Agreed. And
Yeah.
I even had an actual conversation with Mr. Burnell just to kind of feel that out a little bit. And it was just like so clear that the best candidate for the job was hired. So that just feels really good. And I couldn't be more excited knowing Connor personally and knowing all the wonderful things he did, even right down to the volunteering with the unified programs here when he was here as a student even. So it's just really cool.
Great.
Great.
All in favor? That's 4-0. Thank you.
So just as a point of clarification, I will create the addendum to my contract. As we would make sure that anything that, if there are ever any disciplinary issues or any other issues, that would go to someone other than myself, whether it be the building principal or Heidi, as we currently have the situation with Renee as well.
Yep.
So,
Great.
Very good. Thank you. Yeah, motion please to approve the nomination of Catherine McGinnis.
I move to approve the nomination of Catherine McGinnis, first-year probationary teacher, reading and math intervention, Marshwood Middle School, school year 2024-2025, FTE .45, bachelor's 03, salary pending contract negotiations.
A second, Lisa.
Lisa, thank you.
So this brings a smile to my face. Katie was one of my first students here at Marshwood. She is a parent in our district, and just to kind of give you an idea of Katie and who she is, when I told Dr. Harrison that I was looking to have her be an educational technician at Marshwood Middle School, and she was currently in a long-term sub role at Elliott Elementary School, he said, "You can't have her." Just to kind of give you that. So Katie would be doing some intervention work for us through our Hawk Block program, and so every 4 days a week, there's a half-hour Hawk Block where she would be actually doing some direct math intervention and some reading intervention. We're not sure necessarily if it'll be 3 days of reading, 3 days of math and 1 day of reading, or 2 days of reading, 2 days of math. But Katie is really excited about that. She's been AVMR trained by Devin, which is fantastic to be able to bring that programming and that level of expertise to our Marshall Middle School. She's currently doing a similar role right now at the middle school, and already seeing some great changes with some kids getting that extra help with math up. Make those a little bit skills a little bit more proficient. So really excited.
That's awesome.
And a little known fact that her mother was a longtime mathematics teacher at Marshall High School.
Yeah.
Right?
Comments or questions? All in favor? Well, thank you very much. Your motion, please, with regard to the use of transportation by the Elliott Recreation Department.
I move to approve the use of MSAD 35 transportation by the Elliott Recreation Department for attached listing of trips.
Second, Lisa.
Lisa, and that is actually attached to your
Yes.
agenda, the back page of the, it's the back page of tonight's agenda. Oh, there's a letter about it. Yep, no, they're listed as well. Okay. Any questions, comments?
Favor.
Well, thank you.
Please note that it's the Elliott Recreation Department now, not the Elliott Community Service
Yes.
Department. So that there has been a name change, just for clarity.
Thank you. Okay, we're into our first reads. We have a motion, please, with regard to EC.
I move to approve the first reading and discussion policy EC, environmentally sound schools.
I'll second, Rebecca.
This is a policy we have had on the books, and it looks like it has some changes to it.
Yes.
Smallish changes.
Just to reflect our current practice, I
Yeah.
believe, this one. Which was-
I think just with this policy, we wanted to be really careful that, obviously, we want to be as environmentally mindful as we can, but at the same time, we need to be fiscally responsible at the same time and try to find the best of both worlds. And so we really seek to try to find those things. An example that I would use is, rather than doing solar panels ourselves, that would have been approximately a $2 million project. We were able to join a solar farm and not have to spend that money, but still recoup those benefits. And so trying to find a way to do both, to be able to make things sustainable, but yet still affordable.
Okay, comments or questions? All in favor? 4-0, thank you. See that again next week. Motion please with regard to EBCB.
Move to approve the first reading and discussion of policy EBCB, emergency evacuation drills.
Second, Rebecca.
Rebecca? This is a new policy.
Just a brand new.
New policy, old procedures. We've been doing this for, but this is just a policy to solidify what we already have in place.
Yeah, there's no proposed changes to the procedures, just that we're eliminating them to the policy.
It was one of the recommended policies that MSMA came up with when we reviewed things.
Anybody have comments or questions? All in favor? It's 4-0. Motion please with regard to CHA.
I move to approve the first reading and discussion of policy CHA, development of administrative procedures.
Second, Rebecca.
Rebecca, thank you. Also a new policy,
Yes.
same thing.
Yeah, and I think there was a point of note is that I think policy is a really overused and misused word in the area of schools.
Mhm.
School boards set policy.
Yes.
Schools can create procedures.
Yes.
And so many times when people say the school policy is this, that's really the school established procedure. It's not necessarily the board policy. And so this really says and recognizes that, there may be times when procedures are created because there's an issue, but it is different than a school board policy.
Makes sense. Any questions about that?
All in favor?
It's 4-0, thank you. Motion please with regard to CB.
I move to approve the first reading and discussion of policy CB, school superintendent.
Second, Lisa.
Lisa, thank you. Same thing, new policy, being elevated to policy level spells out the fact that basically your role in interaction with the board, et cetera.
Yes.
I read through it. It's nothing objectionable there to me. It all seems exactly what it should be, so. Any comments or questions from the rest of the board? All in favor? 4-0, thank you. Motion please with regard to CHD.
I move to approve the first reading and discussion of policy CHD, administration in the absence of policy.
Second, Jen.
Jen, thank you. This is also new, I think, or does this exist?
This is-
It exists, but I think,
To review.
Yeah.
so,
Very straightforward.
Pretty straightforward.
I didn't think that it requires a policy, but that's
Okay.
okay.
That was the recommendation. of-
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, all right,
Perfect.
all fair? It's 4-0, thank you. Motion please with regard to JJIF.
I move to approve the first reading and discussion of policy JJIF, management of concussions and other head injuries.
Second, Lisa.
Lisa, thank you. This is a new sample from MSMA.
That's correct.
Does it differ substantially from?
No, I think what really is going to be the difference is going to be the procedure that's going to come with this. So the template's basically the same with some minor changes, but the big part will be the procedures. And so we've asked our nurse, our athletic trainer, to be able to review the procedures that we currently have in place to make sure that it makes sense. And so they're in the process of doing that. We'll bring that policy forward the next time that we meet.
Okay.
Well, the next time we help with the policy committee, be able to we'll work on that policy. part.
And Mr. Buzzell, yes.
Yeah.
All right, any questions about that? Comments? All in favor? That is 4-0, thank you. And then we have a couple of rescinds. Motion please with regard to rescinding GCCA.
I move to rescind policy GCCA, leave without pay.
Second, Lisa.
Thank you.
So this was revised in 2004,
Yeah.
so quite some time ago. This is really addressed in our negotiated agreements.
Yeah.
So it really is not a necessary policy.
Does it need to be a policy?
Yeah, as you said.
Good, that's good. So get it out of there. Questions? All in favor? 4-0. And lastly, with regard to policy JN,
I move to rescind policy JN, Marshwood High School Community Service.
Second, Lisa?
thank you.
But I just want to be clear that we're not getting rid of the community service component. It was just, it was not a separate policy that is covered underneath our graduation policy. But we didn't need to just have a separate policy about the community service. So that's where the community service will still remain in place. We just don't need this particular policy because it's covered under something else.
Okay.
Do a lot with my hands.
Great. Okay. Questions, comments? All in favor? That is also 4-0 and brings us to the end of our new business. And building administrator check-in.
Shared this earlier, but just to share again, just wanted to thank Erin Darling. As said, many years, she's done Girls on the Run, probably 10 years at this point, brought it to Central, and very committed, doing it 2 times a year, 2 days a week, a lot of hours. But she's been, all the boys are always asking her when there's going to be a Boys on the Run. So she's been researching and she found a program called Let Me Run. That's a national program, and she brought it to the first Let Me Run in Maine. She gave up her Girls on the Run title to another teacher, and now she's doing 2 days a week, Let Me Run, and it actually filled up. We have 18 boys running, and as I was sharing earlier, we had some on the waiting list, and they all got in. They acted like they won the lottery. They were running down the hall. It was so exciting. So they had their first practice, and it's hardcore. They had to run a mile, and kids that really, some of it was a stretch, and really exciting. So excited for Lee Robinson and Matt Graceffa all volunteered to be coaches. So they're all doing it together. So just we're excited. We have running almost every day at Central School.
Nice.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So in Elliott Elementary School, Hannah Rosignol, physical education teacher, she planned and facilitated Kids Heart Challenge. And so part of that is raising funds, voluntary effort, raising funds for the American Heart Association. They raised $5,700. Wow, it's really quite a contribution. So we were really happy with that, but the Kids Heart Challenge was incredible. Parents joined us as volunteers. 3rd grade students served as mentors for the pre-K to 2nd grade group. They went through a number of circuits throughout the gym. It was just a lot of fun. And the parents, the comment was, wow, what we really missed during COVID, but we're back. And that was good news. The 1st grade students in Elliott went to see Mrs. Frizzle's Magic School Bus over the Portsmouth Music Hall. That was a lot of fun. I went with them, and kids laughed, and the production team did a great job. Today, today, Newmarket Hot Shots performed for us. And their jump ropers, they were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Really talented group of kids. The 2nd graders were just incredible. You should have seen them. As no phys ed man, I really appreciate it. So, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Peter's got a picture. He got some A because he was jumping over too. And when Nina says there's running at Central, there was running at Great Works because Mr. Cavalier announced in the middle of the day that there was no school. All of a sudden, so just a couple of things. One, we celebrated our Ed Techs today. I think it was, I don't know if it was state or National Ed Tech Day. And so we just have some unbelievable folks. And so the kids in the art club, they had made boxes for them. There were letters that the kids were putting in. They all got flowers. Some classes, they had their Ed Tech in there all the time. There was, cookies and just hearts all over the place. So just that recognition of those folks that just, work their tail We got Dear Edwina Junior coming up, that's next Thursday, and so the kids have worked both the fourth and fifth grade, the fourth grade chorus and the fifth grade kids in the play have worked really hard, so we're excited about that. And then I always like to tell you a story. So the other day, and kids are great works, they're always coming to me. Can we raise funds for this? Can we do this for this? So I had a group of fifth grade kids that came and said, we want to do something for the communities. And I said, what do you want to do? And they said, well, we really want to help some kids out. We want to help families out. So I talked to them about, there is different, in the town government, there are departments that kind of, whether it's social welfare, and each town calls it something different. I said, they have money, they provide money if someone needs to go in and they need oil, extra oil or food or whatever. So they got this great idea, and they said, why don't we pick a cold day, and we'll have hot chocolate out of recess, and we'll sell the hot chocolate, and we'll tell people it's to raise funds for that. I said, not a problem. I think they raised a couple $100, so each town will get $100. But in that, we've had a problem at Great Works in that our dishwasher in the cafeteria is broken, and the kids are having a fit because we're throwing away, and we really worked hard on it. So anyways, so I was talking with the kids, and we were talking about the hot chocolate, how they were going to do it. And I said, well, kids, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use those styrofoam cups. I know you don't like to do that, but that's what we'll have to do. I had these fourth graders behind me. And all of a sudden, I felt a tug on my sweater. And I said, why? I said, it's not bugging. They said, Mr. Bernal, we can use the mugs. I said, we don't have a dishwasher. They said, we volunteer to wash the mugs. So these group of fourth grade kids, we had, I think there were probably because we have about 200 mugs. And that's what the kids sold. And so we brought those mugs into the home ec room, and those fourth graders sat there and just
Wash mugs. That's so cute. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Everyone went.
That's great.
Thank you. Any last thoughts from the board?
No, I will say just one thing. You reminded me of actually when you were talking about the wellness committee meeting, which I'm so sorry to have missed today. You were saying about the things that it would be helpful to have more parent involvement and understanding of some of the stressors that kids have, and maybe some things that we can do differently. And it's interesting because we have Michael Bodie, who is a best-selling author, speaks a lot about kindness and founded the Kindness Center in Maine. And he's coming to speak to the middle schoolers and the high schoolers next Friday, the 12th. And he's going to be talking to them about kindness as really a tool and a resource for resilience and mental wellness. And then Michael Bodie is coming to the Marshwood Education Foundation fundraiser that night at the Red Barn, and he's going to be speaking to parents on that exact topic that you were just talking about. So I'm begging the community to please come. Tickets are only $40. The Marshwood Education Foundation, if you don't know what it is a nonprofit organization that was created. This is the 15th year anniversary celebration. The Marshwood Education Foundation has raised $280,000 in grants that have been funding all kinds of projects around our school district for the last 15 years, all kinds of innovative and unique educational experiences for our kids that just fall simply outside of the school budget. I'm getting teary only because I just think it's so amazing, and I'm just thinking about how when it first started, I was on the grant review committee, and then I have moved on to other things, and how many other people in the district, families, older folks, retired folks, younger folks, just a real encouragement for younger families to get involved. I think at this point, there's a lot of us that are kind of aging out. And it would just be awesome if you can't be on the board of the committees to buy auction, yummy food, there's a cash bar, there's going to be music. It'll be really fun, and it's at the Red Barn.
Yes.
Everybody loves the Red Barn. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out. And he is the featured guest speaker, and he's going to be talking about about kindness, mental health, and resilience, and what we can do as parents to help to support that. So thank you.
Fantastic. Yes. Great.
That's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
We'll move to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
All in favor? It's 4-0. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.